Hey guys, it's Dazzy. I just wanted to do a review of Garden Party. It's season 2, episode 17 of Schooled. And I'm just going to tell you right off, I love this episode. So I'm going to try not to cry because it made me have all the feels, most of them good feels. But oh, this episode was just so good. I loved it. So I'm going to try to get through without crying, but I probably will. But probably won't, but we'll see how it goes. The first thing I want to talk about with this episode is the whole parent teacher conference thing that Lainey's talking about at the beginning about how teachers do it so differently, and it's so true. I'm a teacher, and we had this year we had actually 2 days full of teacher conferences, parent teacher conferences, and there's like 30 to 40 of them, and you get so tired of you want to share what's happening with the students to their parents, but it's so daunting. I mean, you have them one right after the other, and it's just like you feel like a broken record sometimes. So I'm totally like the Wilma here. It's like, she's a joy to have in class and making steady progress. I mean, that is exactly how I am. It feels like we're just on a broken record, and I just want to bang my head on the desk and scream into a pillow too. After after a couple of them, you're just like, why do I have to keep doing this? But yeah, I would totally be Wilma in this situation. Um, and I thought it was so funny that Rick was making the parents work out and do crunches or whatever. That was so funny. Of course he would do that. Just, Rick is hilarious. And then we see CB, who's got this whole like luau theme in his room. Oh my gosh! Of course he would go all out. And how cute is he? I was so hoping that when Lainey came into his room, he was going to offer her a lay, and just get your brain out of the gutter there. But but that's where my mind totally went with that. But I will cease and desist. But there is that one teacher that just goes all out when we have parent teacher conferences, and then there's others that just dread it. Um, uh, but Weasel comes in to ask CB for help regarding the parent teacher conference, saying, please don't tell my dad, that I'm doing terrible and that I'm late to class. And he says, he doesn't think college is going to be something that he's going to be able to do. And of course, CB, being the wonderful person he is, he always sees the best in his students. And he's so sweet. And he says he's going to help Weasel with his college essay. And he's carrying all these pineapples, and it's so funny. And I don't know why, it just made me think of Psych, the show Psych, because pineapples, which is a big part of that show, but that just made me think of Psych for some reason. Um, but he says, and how handsome does he look in that purple shirt? It's such a bright color, and it just really brings out his eyes. But but anyway, Greg comes in, and Greg is Weasel's stepdad, and Hayes MacArthur plays him, and I love him on Angie Tribeca, but I was so excited to see him, but I pegged him as a total douche the first second he walked into CB's room. I was like, boy, you better not do anything to him, because I will be a raging person right after this if you do something bad to him. But I think he planned it all along just to kind of get CB, and he probably knew from Weasel what type of a guy CB was, and he was playing them the whole time. So I knew it. I just wanted to punch him in the face. Said, protecting my baby CB from disappointment, and I just didn't want him to get him into trouble the whole episode. But he got him tickets to the X Games, and CB really thought he was meeting a good friend, and I just wanted to put my arms around him and just push Greg off the cliff. It's like, bye, there you go, bye, go away. Um, but then there's that scene where CB walks into the lounge with all that X Games stuff, and holy crap, how cute is he? And he goes, yo, 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 almost died. It's so funny. And Lainey tells him she thinks Greg is shady. And they go through this whole like conversation about it. And then they say something about, you watch a lot of Lifetime movies, don't you? And he's like, I do, yeah. It's like, CB just keeps stealing my heart week after week. I'm telling you, he's just so cute. Oh my gosh. But Lainey tries to warn him about Greg, but he's not having it. And he says he doesn't need to be looked after, and he doesn't see what Lainey sees. And CB is such a trusting and caring person with everyone. He just tries to see the good in people. So, he doesn't really see what Lainey's, why she's all upset about it and everything. And he picks up his glasses and they fall apart. And I think that's definitely foreshadowing what's going to happen in the future of the episode. But and Lainey's reaction, she just seems so worried about him, and I love that about her, that she worries about him and that they care so much for each other as friends. But you see CB helping Weasel with his essay, and they're trying to find a topic, and they come up with the person you most admire and why. And I thought Weasel was going to say CB for a second there, but he said Ronnie, which is kind of funny. Weasel is just completely clueless. You just got to love him. I have a couple of students that are very similar to Weasel, and it's just so funny. They keep me, just keep me laughing and keep things, I love it. But I kind of think that CB has a crush on Greg just a little bit, kind of had a little crush on him. But Lainey comes in and tells CB that he has a call on her cell phone. It's so funny how he gave Greg Lainey's cell number. And Weasel's dad, I think he gives him tickets to go see David Copperfield, and he says he's going to see him later. And Lainey's like, "Can we have a conversation in the hallway?" And Little Quiet Canadian was saying on Tumblr how they forgot that Lainey and CB weren't a couple in that episode, because they sure, in that one part at least, because it sure did seem like they were a couple. And anyone who saw the episode and didn't really know probably would think that, but I've written so much fanfic on them that my brain already considers them a couple, so it's hard for me to separate it anyway. But I know they're not together yet. But just in my brain, I just want it to happen so bad. It's just like everything they do together just seems like it's leading there to me. So I try not to get too excited about it. But she pulls him into the hallway, and he kind of asks her to help Weasel out while he goes and he's friends with Greg, and he thinks Lainey might be a little jealous of Greg, and there's actually someone else who likes hanging out with CB other than her. And she tells him he's not acting like himself and says he's just trying to help out Weasel in a way. And she goes, "Fine, whatever you want to tell yourself." And he just runs on off, and he doesn't see her point quite yet. But CB goes with Greg to the David Copperfield show, and CB in that brown leather jacket. Whew, guys. I don't know if I'm probably not the only one who found that hot, but just seeing him in that leather jacket was he looked very, very good in that. Sorry to be so superficial, but I just can't help it. I just think CB's so attractive and so sweet and caring. I love him to death. But I love how Greg says, "You're not going to be a nerdy fanboy in front of him and do some kind of magic trick." And then he puts his hands behind his back and he's got the handkerchiefs in his sleeve. He pulls them out. Oh my gosh. I just love it so much. But he talks about, how their relationship's a two-way street. And then Greg wants CB to help Weasel by writing his essay for him. And he goes, "No, that's plagiarism. That's the biggest crime an English teacher could ever commit." And he realized he copied his English professor, so he kind of gave credit to his English professor. I thought that was kind of cute that he wasn't plagiarizing him. But I think he realized, in that moment that what Lainey said was right, that Greg only wanted to hang out with him, to help him cheat for Weasel. And I just wanted to throw Greg in a dumpster like the trash he is. I mean, I was like, rage. Why are you making my CB feel like that? I was so like heartbroken. I didn't want him. I wanted, I knew it was going to happen, but I didn't want it to happen and let poor CB down and just make him feel terrible. And just my heart. But later he has that conversation with Lainey, and he's doing magic with the pencil, like putting it up his nose and pulling it out of his mouth. Oh, they're so cute. And he tells her about what happened, and she says, "I'm sorry." And he goes, "No, I'm just an idiot for thinking Greg will want to hang out with me." And she goes, "Hey, you're a way better guy than him, and that it's his loss." And And CB's like, but he gets to hang out with all these cool people. And then he just went home and watched a Boy Meets World marathon. And oh my gosh, Boy Meets World, that took me back when I heard that, because I used to watch that when I was a teenager. And I was, I just loved that show. And I wanted Corey and Topanga to be together. I wanted them to get married and all that stuff. And they finally did. And it was so cute. And Ryder Strong, which is Corey's friend Sean. I had such the hugest crush on him. I just thought he was so cute when I was a teenager. But anyway, we'll get back to CB and Lainey. Lainey says that he's such a sweet and trusting guy. He only sees the best in people, and that's her favorite thing about him. And I just thought that was so sweet. And he goes, "Thank you, that's sweet." And you still have time to make things right with Weasel, and for him to go work his magic, which I thought was so cute. And he grabbed the pencil that he was using to put up his nose and pull out of his mouth, and she just laughs at him when he walks off. He's just I love them so much. Oh my gosh, their friendship in this episode, in the last episode, he helped her in the last episode with her issue with Wilma, and now he's helping her, and she's helping him in this episode. I just think they complement each other so well. And it's like, can you imagine them as a couple? I mean, wow. I just sigh when I think about it. I mean, she would help him so much, keeping him in line. She would be like the taskmaster to keep him in line, and he would just love her and worship her and do anything for her and to make her happy. And I just, oh guys, oh my gosh, I just want them together so bad. But going back to the episode, Weasel comes in at the end, and CB asks him how his essay went about his dad, and he shows him the essay, and it says, my English teacher is CB and Mr. Brown. And I was like, oh my gosh, I started crying like a baby. I mean, he was just so sweet, and I kept going, oh. I just kept saying, oh. I'm crying now, but my husband like rolled his eyes. He just doesn't get it. He used to like this show, but now that I've come obsessed with it, he's like, he cannot stand it anymore. He was just rolling his eyes. He just doesn't get it. But Mr. Weasel said, you're a huge inspiration to him. And I was like, oh, it's just so sweet. And Lainey comes in the doorway and sees him, and he puts his hand over his heart, and she's watching him, and my heart just about burst. I mean, how sweet is that? That was the best part of that whole episode. I mean, I wonder what she's thinking. I know she's completely happy, that he's, gotten some recognition from a student, and it just made his heart, that he loved that. And that's just the type of guy he is. And he's always humble and everything and doesn't want recognition, but he finally got some from a student. I think that made him so happy, and she's just happy to see that. And part of me wants to believe that she's starting to see what an amazing guy is. I know she already knows that, but how he could be more than a friend to her. But at the end, we see CB come in with that hat on, and Lainey critiques his outfit, and how cute is that? I just love how he takes her criticism and doesn't let it faze him, and he just completely goes along with whatever she says, and he's trying to impress her almost in a way. And he zips up his jacket when she says she hates the Mandarin collar on him. Oh, it's so cute. It's kind of ironic because I actually wrote in my next fic that I'm getting ready to post this weekend, where Lainey is his wing woman for a date. It's so ironic because I did a scene very similar to that, where he comes in dressed like all to the nines, and she critiques his outfit and tries to help him out a little bit. So that's kind of funny that happened, because it's exactly what I wrote. So exactly like a scene I wrote in my next fic. But I actually met a new friend on Twitter this week, and her name's Kimberly. Hi, Kimberly. She is a CB Laney stan, complete CB Laney stan, and we had this long back and forth conversation regarding their relationship, and we hope we'll get some more episodes that will address their relationship. And it seemed like, the past two episodes have completely, dropped it. But I will say that it's shown their friendship again on these last two episodes, which is what I've missed. I really missed that. I think before Beanie Babies, we had all these episodes where they were, doing things together. They were doing the Lion King together, and they had, they connected there, and they connected with um, her taking his class in the Outbreak episode, and they connected there too, and he helped her, ace the test, and there was all these episodes in the Friendsgiving where she, helped him out with his losing his apartment in the fire. And there was all these episodes that were just focused on them. And it was all, building their relationship, building it up and building it up. And then Beanie Babies came and it completely like just destroyed everything to me. I love that episode, but I can't watch it that much because it upsets me too much. But it just like completely like severed their friendship, I thought, just a little bit. And then they kind of, did episodes without them being together. And then the singled out episode kind of addressed it a little bit, but in Titanic Love, of course. But I just kind of think after Beanie Babies, we really haven't seen them be friends, close friends again. And these two episodes have really, really helped that. And I really appreciate that they've done that. And I missed it so much. But Kimberly said something that has really stuck with me since yesterday. And she said that, that Barry was the right choice for her when she was younger, but now that she's an adult, believes that CB is now the right, more of the right choice for her. And I think she's right. I think she's totally right. And that just stuck with me, I'm like, Barry was the right choice for her then. And now CB is the best choice for her now. And Wilma even said that in the singled out episode that Barry, may be holding her back from living in the present and finding something greater. And I truly believe that. And that whether they're going to go there or not on the show, we'll have to wait and see. But, they may drag us along for another season and whatever. But I truly believe that CB and Lainey are meant to be together. And I really want them to be. And I hope so. But, you can always hope. And then I've had several ships where the writers have let me down and not letting them get together, or either killed off one of the characters, and so they couldn't be together, even though they shared a moment before it happened, and then one of the characters died, or then another ship I had, the characters got married and then he died, and that was just, it completely crushed me. But I just don't want this show to disappoint me either. Sorry. Okay, I'm back. I collected myself. Overall, I would give it a 10 out of 5 just because I love this episode, and the whole CB storyline was just so adorable and so cute, and the way that Lainey helped him, kind of see the error of his ways. I really love that. I can't wait till next week when we see Lainey's mom for the first time. I'm so excited for that. And what do you think will happen with that? I'm just kind of interested about people's opinions about what's going to happen. So if you have any opinions, just put it in the comments or message me on Tumblr or Twitter. I'm really excited to see, what people think is going to happen. And just to finish out this video, I'll just say, stay safe. I hope you're doing well during these crazy times right now. And if you ever need someone to talk to, just hit me up on Twitter and Tumblr, and I'll be happy to talk with you. And we're all in this together, and I just hope you're doing well. And this has definitely given me a little bit of a break from the craziness of work, and it's helped me relax and really focus on my writing, my fan fiction right now. So that's really helped me, and it's helped, focus on my fan fiction has kind of helped me have a distraction from this whole thing that's going on right now. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed my little review, and not to have ignored the whole story between John and Earl Ball, but I just felt like the CB storyline was a lot more for me to focus on in this video. So I guess I'll see you next time. We'll do one on Lainey's mom next week. Bye. See you later.